Hey, what's up? My name is Tyson Brown and I want to welcome you to Tyson's Fitness Tips podcast. This is Australia's top health and fitness podcast to help you lose weight, look good with your shirt off, feel confident in your body, and finally achieve the goals you want with your health and fitness. So 5 days a week, I'm going to be giving you top information from myself and also from leading experts in the field so you know everything you need to do to get in the best shape of your life. From nutrition to mindset to workout, everything is covered in this podcast and you need to go nowhere else. So like I said, it's going to be 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, in your ears with quick, actionable segments that you can implement straight away, because the most important thing is that you can put these things into play. Also, if you listen all the way to the end of the episode, you're going to get 2 special gifts that you can download upon listening to it. So make sure you listen all the way to the end to get those free gifts, okay? So let's get into the episode. Cool. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Tyson's Fitness Tips. Now today I get to bring someone on who is so cool. I have been following Vince for years and I actually got the opportunity to meet him in San Diego a couple of months ago, and so I was like, man, I've got to get you on the podcast. You're a legend. So you guys probably heard of him because he has been around for a while. His name is Vince Monte, and he's done a lot of things in the last, how long has it been, Vince? Like 10, 20 years you've been in this industry for?
2006, I started my online fitness business. I've been a personal trainer since 2002.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. What's that? 16 years. Far out. Man, time goes fast, hey?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You're telling me.
So, Vince, thanks so much for coming on today, mate. I really appreciate it. But for the people who don't know you, can you tell us a little bit more about your background and kind of how you got started in this?
Yeah, I mean, long story short, I started off as a skinny long-distance runner. I went to university, met a bunch of buff guys, got the fascination with building muscle, took that fascination to my first job as a personal trainer after I graduated from university, transformed my body under the mentorship of a natural bodybuilder from my church. That transformation changed my life. I was 22 years at the time, and it really launched my personal training business forward, and it really piqued the curiosity of what more is possible. I really started thinking bigger because all of a sudden these new opportunities started coming into my world. So a couple years into my profession as a personal trainer, I discovered the internet. Now, I should say prior to discovering the internet, I was doing more than personal training. I was selling gym memberships. Primarily, I was selling personal training. I was the guy that was responsible for building the revenue of the gym, which is always personal training sales. And I got really, really good at face-to-face selling, and I fell in love with the world of writing your own paycheck. And I got really good at, overcoming objections and closing bigger deals. And I became, I guess, what you would call a leader within the clubs I was working at. And I was hiring trainers. I was filling them up. I was writing them paychecks. They just had to show up, and I kept the roster full because my boss did an incredible job bringing people into the gym, and then it was my job to get them signed into a personal training package ranging from 12 to 144 sessions. So, it wasn't uncommon for me to, personally sell anywhere from, $40,000 to $100,000 a month in PT sales and earn a commission on that. And that was where my skill was beginning to be developed as a closer, not just a salesman, but learning how to get the credit card out of their pocket and figuring out if they were a good fit. And I really fell in love with that whole world of, influence, persuasion, relationship building. I just call it closing. I feel like we have an ethical duty to get people to take their credit cards out, or else there's no skin in the game. There's no threat. There's no real commitment. I believe that real commitments are always backed with time and money. So I saw people dropping out of the gym when I didn't close them. They would literally disappear. They fell into a popular stat that was 60% of people that sign up for 12-month gym memberships will quit in the first 12 months if they don't buy a personal training package. So those were my early days. I feel that's really important because it gives more context to what I began doing online in 2005, which was marketing my first ebook, No Nonsense Muscle Building, with long form sales copy, and knowing how to sell face to face, having all the same language and being what some people would call hypey and salesy, and hitting pain points and doing some fear mongering, all those things that are negatively associated with selling. I had no problem with it because I knew it was always in the best interest of the person if they needed the service. I'm not talking about selling to anybody that doesn't need what you have. But if somebody buys a gym membership, we all know they need more than just a membership. All right. They need accountability. They need knowledge. They need speed. They need relationships. There's many factors that go into them achieving their goal. So for me, I felt like that background as a trainer, and not specifically just being good at getting people results in the gym, more importantly, knowing how to sell, knowing how to market myself, learning how to close, getting familiar with rejection, and following up, and having months that were low and having months that were high, the peaks and valleys of being a salesman. That really prepared me for the online world of internet marketing. And I feel like that laid the foundation for what I achieved with my online fitness business. So those were the early days. And I'll pause there. But that's what brought me into the world of online fitness marketing as the skinny guy expert dedicated to helping beginners, natural guys, gain their first 20, 30, 40 pounds of muscle without drugs, without bogus supplements, in less time. That's how I built my name in the online world, moving towards becoming a specialist. And here we are 10 years later. Not only did that become a multi-seven-figure fitness brand, but I have now, I've been sought out by many people who want to do what I've done. And because they've watched that whole story from the beginning, many people have been with me right from those early days. Now they want to start their own online fitness business. So over the last year and a half, I've transitioned from fitness coach to business coach. And that's been interesting for people to watch because I feel everybody wants to be a business coach these days. But, people are really gravitating to the people that have built real businesses prior to playing that card. And I've only played that card until recently because people have literally insisted and asked me, can you coach me? And do you have anything that will show me how to do what you've done? And I am not a product of, do it yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. I got a lot of great friends who have do it yourself programs, but I think they'll even admit that the ultimate results don't come from the do it yourself programs. They come from when that individual ascends to the coach's coaching program or to their mastermind where there's real skin in the game. There's a real investment, a much bigger investment. There's travel involved. There's no guarantee of an ROI. There's a long runway, and there's no money back guarantee. That's when we separate the kids from the men, because I've been doing this for a year and a half, and man, there's just as many flaky people who want to build a business as there are who want to change their bodies. And I got a front row seat because everybody's just bouncing. They want to start this business. They think it's easy. They have no idea how hard it is. They underestimate what they have to do to become successful. Most of them aren't coming in with any really hard skills. And they get very disappointed very quickly, especially now because of social media. Everybody's highlight reels are on display, and you really don't know what's going on behind the scenes unless you join a mastermind and you actually meet these people in person and you build these relationships, and then you get to hear the truth. Then you find out what the real numbers are. Then you get to find out what the real struggles are. And then it gives you that perspective to reassure yourself that, hey, maybe there is light at the end of the tunnel. Wow, I didn't realize. You get to see what's going on behind the curtain in other people's businesses to give you the reassurance and confidence that you are on the right track. You can build this, and that's where we are today. I've got a coaching program with over 75 people. It's a $19,000 a year coaching program, and I've got 4 coaches, incredible guys, and we've got a mixture of beginners to 6-figure earners, multi-6-figure earners, and we've got a small handful of people in the 7 and multi-7-figure a year range. So we've got some serious players in the group. It's pretty incredible, and I'm being coached myself by 2 individuals to grow this. So that's where we're at right now, and this has all been done lately in the context of 3 kids. I like to remind people that I'm a father, I'm a husband, and without letting my own fitness goals and my own family get kicked to the curb in the process. And I think that's what's gravitating a lot of people into my world when they see this whole picture and they've got the context of the story as I just shared.
Well, man, what a journey you've been on in the last, like I said, 16 years. It's just been, you've stayed in the same industry, but you've just pivoted towards what you're actually doing, you know, going from helping people get fit first to going to the sales side of things, and now helping trainers build up their business so they can help more people. And it's funny, like, one thing you kept bringing up was skin in the game, and it's so important because, you know, you can Google free workouts, you can Google how to run a business, you can read books, but if you aren't putting in money, if you aren't willing to invest in yourself to put skin in the game, then you know that most people aren't going to follow through with what they say they're going to do.
Yeah, it's too easy. There's a safety net, and you got to get around people that you don't want to disappoint. You have to publicly announce it. But even more than that, now one of the big things I'm talking about is I just wrote an email on setting goals, and you know, it's one thing to let your, you know, friends and your Instagram following know what your why is, but most importantly, you got to get your like super close loved ones on board on the why. You know, most importantly, your spouse, the person you're sleeping with. The person you're sleeping with has to understand why you're stealing time from her or from him. Your kids, maybe they're too young for them to understand, but the wife, the spouse needs to be on board that, hey, we're trying to get away from this scenario so that we can be in this scenario. And the new way to be risk adverse is to start taking risks today. That conversation needs to happen. We are going to be living tight the next 12 months. We're not going to be taking the family vacation this year. This year we have to cut back on Christmas presents. And I think you've got to get the people closest to you on board with your why. You got to get them drinking out of the same straw. You got to get them drinking the same Kool-Aid. They have to be in support of you. So when other people challenge, hey man, why are you doing all this? What's wrong? Isn't that job good enough? Why are you never around anymore to have these, you know, for us to get to talk and everything like before? The wife she can't be like, yeah, why? Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know why either. She has to come to your defense and say, because if we continue doing what we're doing, we are not going to be happy. We are capped. We are in a career. We are not in a calling. We want to explore this. We don't want to live the rest of our life in regret. We want to create new opportunities for our kids and their kids, and we're not going to do it where we are. Both people have to be on board, and this is one of the big things that I see amongst people that I coach who are in married relationships. The ones that are making the leaps have really like ultra supportive spouses, and they're on board. And they don't necessarily all work together. Some of them it naturally happens over time, but you've got to get the people around you on board with your vision. You've got to be aligned, or else there's just a lot of excess stress you have to deal with that's going to steal creative energy from growing what you're trying to build.
Oh man, it's such an important thing you touched on there, because it's that environment, right? Like if you don't have those people supporting you, especially your closest ones, like you said, if they're not there to support you, you might need to question like what's going on in that relationship first of all. And it's also like if it's going to be so much harder on the journey if you don't have everyone on the same page, you know, like if you don't have that supportive environment when you come home, like it's so easy just to go, you know what, fuck this, I'm going to throw it away, I'm going to go back to what I was doing. Because the more support, like, you know, it's just like having when you're in that mastermind, you're surrounded by people higher up, or if you have a coach who's higher up than you and they're supporting you, that starts to make you think differently too, and it brings you up to their level.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one, they're going to get you clear on what the vision is. They're going to help you gain clarity around maybe you're responsible for the vision, but what they'll help you get more clarity on is the path. And and help you to avoid the distractions along the way, the different roadblocks that will, come in different shapes and form, whether it be a disappointment, whether it be cash flow being tight, whether it being, somebody on your team betraying you, all sorts of setbacks on the road. Maybe it's distractions. Maybe you're easily distracted by the next red shiny object, and you're always getting led astray by the good idea fairy. So a good coach will help you stay on the path, will teach you how to allocate your marketing dollars, guide you towards the decisions you need to make, and help you say no to the many so that you can stay committed to the few.
And I think that applies the exact same thing when it comes to fitness coaching. They show you the path to make yourself successful, to be able to achieve the fitness goal you want. They will show you exactly what you need to do to get from point A to point B, because they've experienced that before. And when you have someone there who has been through what you've been through, and they can show you, they can give you, in a way, it's not a super fast shortcut, but it is a shortcut that's going to help you get there faster than what you would do if you did it alone.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've already been there. If you're looking for that coach and mentor, I always tell people it's very simple. You just need to find somebody who's got what you want in excess. I wanted to build a coaching program, and the guy that I hired has a coaching program for fitness business entrepreneurs, and he has 100 people in it. And when I started, I had 0. So I'm like, well, that's my coach. That's the guy I'm going to hire. So you have to find, if you want, say, 17-inch arms, you got to find somebody who's got 18-inch arms. If you want to make $1 million a year, you got to find somebody who's already made well over $1 million a year, and ideally has done it consistently for a number of years. If you want to live in a 4,000 square foot house, you got to find somebody who lives in an 8,000 square foot house. If you want to vacation twice a year, you've got to find somebody who vacations at least 4+ times a year. So it's really simple. If you take this to fitness, if you want 6-pack abs, well, you need to find a coach that has 6-pack abs, maybe 8-pack or 10-pack. So you got to find somebody who has what you want in excess, and you don't ask them what they're doing now. You ask them, what did you do when you first started? All right. You don't compare their after to your before. You compare your before. Comparison is actually good. I'm a huge proponent of comparison. But you got to compare the right contexts, right? So you compare, what did you do in year 1? Okay, cool. I get it. So you're building relationships, creating a lot of content, and focus on just selling one flagship program. So you weren't doing live events? No. So you didn't have a continuity program at the time? No. Okay, so you didn't have a full-time project manager? No, we didn't have that till year 3. Okay, interesting. So now you start knowing where your time should be allocated, and they will help reduce, ideally, really remove the bulk of the overwhelm, so that you have that reassurance that you're doing the right thing. The only difference is that you need time on your side now, and you need to assess results and make decisions based on outcomes, not on feelings, to keep navigating and moving in the right direction. And there's nothing in the world that can replace time. It's like in the gym. Fitness people should get this, because there's no amount of steroids in the world. There's no amount of protein in the world. There's no amount of sleep in the world. There's no amount of massage. There's no amount of yoga in the world that can replace the need for time when it comes to recovery, to recover from your workout so you experience the training effect. It goes for business as well. Nothing can replace time. Some of these things just simply are a time factor. Now, time can be sped up when you start investing into team members and building infrastructure around you and creating systems and all that. But there's always a time factor, and you've got to embrace that, and you've got to be okay realizing that the only reason other people are ahead is because they've already put in that time that you haven't. So you've got to embrace where you are today and see that to your advantage. Hey, somebody's guided the steps. Now I need to just stay on the path. And the coolest thing about this too is that they've guided them in the right steps. And as long as you don't start skipping steps and trying to accelerate things, you'll be fine.
It's so, like, that was such an important point you just talked about, and it's because, like, you actually touched on this earlier about, you see everyone's highlight reels on Instagram, you see the 90-day transformation, you see all these things, but like they're the highlight reels. Like, we don't see what goes on in the background. I mean, sure, you see these 90-day transformation programs, but like, what happens after that 90 days? Are those people able to like keep it, or were those people just in the right spot at the right time? They were single, they didn't have anything else to do in their life. Like, you've got to think about what's going on in your own life and just say, okay, this is going to take time, this is going to take discipline, and I've just got to stay the path, because we get so impatient. We live in a world of instant gratification that if we don't get it in the next week or the next 2 weeks, we think it's worthless, we need to go and try something else. And getting caught up in that mentality, it's just setting yourself up for disaster if you aren't playing the patience game.
Yeah, patience is certainly an advantage. And to be honest, most people would it's tricky because so much business is now generated from social media. But you just have to, you shouldn't even actually use that word social media. Here's a little gem for everybody. Start calling it business media. And the only reason you should be on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube is to make money. All right. If you're an entrepreneur. Now, YouTube's a little bit of an exception because there's a lot of great content on there. You can go do some research and you can take some great notes, discover some new things there. You can go get entertained. But for the sake of building a business, the reason you should have a Facebook account is to run ads and to create content and to retarget people. All right. The reason you should have an Instagram account is because that's where attention is, and money follows attention. All right, so that you can run Instagram ads and swipe up ads in the Instagram stories now, and so that you can retarget people and send them to your funnels and to your opt-in pages and to build your lists and to get these people to stop riding the free train and get them to invest so they get some skin in the game so they can get what they've ultimately wanted in life, which is never going to come from a free webinar or from a done-for-you program. Those things can be Kickstarters, but people ultimately need to back up their commitments with, like I said at the start, real time and real money, real accountability for people they don't want to disappoint if they truly want to do this. Most people, and I will say most people, are just fanboys or girls. They just want to say they're starting a business, they're a part of this world. And, I thank Gary Vee for this because he's really made entrepreneurism mainstream, and he's got the best word for these people. I call them fanboys. He calls them wantrepreneurs, right? They're the people that want to be bosses, but they don't want to pay any bills. They don't want to write any paychecks. Well, that top line's not going to grow if the rest of the lines on the financial statement aren't also going up. Sorry to break the news to you, but you will remain a solopreneur the rest of your life. And there's a stat that virtually every solopreneur in the United States is broke, all right, because they have the wrong mindset, all right? They think people cost money. People don't cost you money. People not producing you results cost you money. So, just going back to the whole thing with, building a real business. A business is a business. A real business makes money. All right. And if we're going to use these platforms like Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, we've got to know the intent. Why are we using them? All right. What's the purpose of these places so that, when you're on them, you're not getting sidetracked and comparing yourself to everybody else's success, but maybe you're looking at it from a different lens. If you are looking at somebody else's stuff, maybe you're looking at what's working. Okay, interesting. Instagram, everybody's got captions now. Interesting. At the time of this call, end of 2018, photos are pretty much dying on Instagram. You'll see a lot of the big pages, all they're posting now is video because video is getting way more engagement, way more reach. Just engagement gets better, people commenting on your stuff. We see more ROI specifically from commenters on videos and on caption, just of photos. So, if you're on these social platforms, look at them from the lens of business media. How are these guys? What's Ty Lopez doing? What's Grant Cardone doing? What's Russell Brunson doing? And look at it from the lens of how can I model some of these things for my own business growth. And at the end of the day, we're talking about, reaching people. All right. First sales easy. All right. to keep the second sale, third sale, fourth sale coming, you've got to provide. You got to come through. All right. Most people will give everybody a chance. I'll give this guy a shot. I've seen this guy's ads a gazillion times. Let's see what he's all about. All right. First sale is an easy sale. The second sale is the real money. All right. Because you've now built that trust. You don't want to lose that trust, and you got to send them. You got to now get them to go deeper in your materials. They've got to evolve, and they're going to take the leap to the next piece of work you have for them to get more from what they want in their life. And those are the people that will go the distance. Those are the people that have got big brands and will be around for a long time. Those are the Bedros Keuilians, the Amanda Bucci's, the Lewis Houses. Those are some more recent names, the Craig Ballantynes, the people that have been doing this for a long time, who aren't going anywhere and have an awesome reputation. And it's because they take good care of people. And I'd like to consider myself as somebody who's put in that group, who's truly dedicated to transforming the lives of others, but knowing that it's not going to happen if I'm afraid to market, if I'm afraid to sell, if I'm afraid to talk like this in a way that people might think, oh, this guy's all just about the numbers. Of course I'm about the numbers. Numbers are metrics. All right. Now we don't want to lose sight that metrics are people, but we need to measure our progress and how we're helping people by the way people are taking action. And people don't get results by, just opting in for your free report. You've got to get them to take the next leap and the next leap and the next leap. And that's how you ultimately get people to experience transformations. And what's beautiful about that is then they will go on and teach that to their people and the people in their life, so that those people that they're responsible for will then too act in a way that helps them get skin in the game and evolve their own life. So it all starts with you.
It's you're just you're not holding back, Vincent, and I really enjoy it. Like, I really appreciate that you're just like saying exactly what you need to do to be able to apply it, because a lot of coaches out there can talk about the fluff, can talk about all these things, but you're giving like practical, actionable steps. Like, you've got to be willing to put money in your business, in yourself, and to be able to grow and expand. And a lot of people don't, like, they say they want to do it, but like you said, they're entrepreneurs, they're fanboys, they say they want to do it, but they aren't actually willing to put the time, put the effort, put the energy, and put the, like the most important thing is putting that long-term time investment in to get towards where they want to go.
Yeah, no, it's a common trait. Number one thing you should invest in is you. All right. Number one thing you invest in is you. Number two thing you invest in are your brand and your marketing. All right. So when I say number one thing you invest in is you, that can encompass a number of things. You invest into your physical health, being more muscular, learning how to eat properly, healthier food so that you can lean out, so you have better hormones, so you have better skin, so that you've got nice hair, so that you can afford nice clothes. It makes you presentable. That makes you a person that people want to get to know. Everyone says people got to like, know, and trust you before they buy. Yeah. Well, if you don't smell good, if you don't sound good, you don't look good, no one's going to be able to like you. So you got to set yourself up in a position for people to want to get to know you. All right. So how else can you invest in yourself? You got to invest into your knowledge. All right. You got to learn a skill. You've got to become good at something. Then you've got to invest into relationships. So you're in a desirable network so that people are vouching for you. People are saying, yeah, he's the real deal. Yeah, he's legit. Yeah, no. Yeah, he stumbles every once in a while, but no, he's a really good guy. Yeah. No, you've got to meet him. He's one of the nicest guys in the world. Definitely sometimes comes across as a little salesy. Yeah, I know, but he really is one of the good guys. Yeah, I know him personally. Yeah, you need to build that network. And that's where you invest. You got to invest into your faith. Maybe go to church more often. Get connected somewhere where you're being spoken to from a good word, a word that speaks to your heart and to not just your mind, and that helps you reframe things in your life. That's one of the things my faith does for me. When I'm going through rough times or confusing times, my faith really helps me see things from a different perspective and how they may be happening, for me. And I can't see why in the moment, because life only makes sense when you watch it in reverse. but down the road things will make sense. So people need to invest into communities that help them stay the course and not get demotivated, and to stay encouraged. You need good people around you. You need people that are your fans. So those are the things that you invest in. And then you invest into your brand. You invest into your funnels, into writing the book, into building a team, into your ads, creating content, a project manager, a videographer, a tech team, customer support. You got to start investing into those assets that can help you produce more income. And then finally, once you make that money, you got to put that money to work. The third thing is then you put it into assets that appreciate and that make cash flow. All right. You need cash flow, not just cash. All right. So you want to, real estate is excellent. If you can get your money in some form of, real estate's likely the best, some stocks or something that isn't going to decline. That's the definition of an asset, something that will never decline, but that will always appreciate and produce cash flow, monthly cash flow, money, some stuff that will put your money to work. All right. You don't want your money sitting in the bank. You don't want your money just sitting in the house. As Grant Cardone was recently saying just a day or two ago, I was watching him. He says most people have lazy money. And if their money was like employees, they would fire everybody because the money's not doing any work. You got to put your money to work. So those are the three things that I teach and that I believe in. You invest into you first, then you invest into your brand second, your brand/business, and then you invest into assets that produce cash flow third. And those are probably the three most, I think those are, I would put all my money down on those are the three things that the most successful and ultra rich people do in that specific order.
It's so interesting that they have that investment mindset for all areas of their life, the health, the business/brand, and then also in those assets. And so for you, like taking the time to invest in those things, because I know obviously, you run a big business, you do multiple things, you have a family. How do you take time to invest in your health every day? Like, how do you still make sure that's a priority for you at the moment?
Yeah, alarm clock goes off at 4:30. Come downstairs, have my preload. I start training. It's normally between 5 and 5:30. Sometimes I'm not going to lie, I hit the snooze button every, more than I'd like to admit, especially now that I've got a third little one. But yeah, there's an alarm, and there's an appointment with myself every morning. I make an appointment with myself. The reason I start the day with training is because it's a quick win. Creates motivation, creates a sense of achievement. And it enforces, man, I can do this, and increases the endorphins, the dopamine. It just puts you into a state that you want to carry through the rest of the day. So I have a program. I've always had somebody write my workout programs. I've never been a believer in winging it. So Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and Saturday mornings I train. My wife is aware of those days. She knows I take Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays off from the gym. That's my current training split. And it's as simple as having an appointment. And I hire this guy to write my workouts. He sends me a new workout phase. The guy I'm working with now, anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks, there's a new workout program in my inbox that I add to my phone. I bring downstairs. It tells me which exercises, how many sets, how many reps, and there's no guesswork. So it's really simple.
I love how you said making those small wins in the morning, because I actually just share that on my Instagram story. Like every morning, I like to wake up and get it done first things first, because when you create that small win for your health and you feel good and you've done your workout, it's like everything else becomes easier for the start of the day, especially for those people who struggle to get their fitness in. If you can wake up early and take a couple of shots of coffee or take preload or take whatever it's going to be, like something's going to get you up and going. If you've taken that, you're ready to go and crush the day. And if you can do that in an hour, it's, let's say for you, it's 5:30, it's 6 o'clock, maybe it's 6:30. You've got the rest of the day just to do work, do whatever you've got to do for the day.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta control the narrative. You gotta script your day. You can't be wasting energy in the morning figuring out what am I going to do today. You gotta wake up, hit the ground running. You can't check Instagram the first thing you do when you wake up. You're killing your day. You gotta jump out of bed. You gotta I go to bed in my workout clothes. So before I go, I don't have pajamas. I wear the clothes I'm going to work out in, so that as soon as I wake up, like I remove as much resistance as possible. Sometimes I'll have the preload on the kitchen counter. I'll have my Pepto Pro. I'll have my highly branched cyclic dextrins on the counter, right? I will have my AirPods charged. I will have 2 phones because sometimes I create content, and both phones need to be charged so that I can record what I'm doing, and I like to add sound on the background. So I'm prepared to maximize, not just to put the workout in, but to get even not just a great workout out of it, but to create content out of the workout on certain days based on, right now we're promoting my book, Living Large, and we need some workout clips to promote the book. So I know that when I go train on Saturday morning, I'm going to be filming that workout. So there's even more urgency not to waste. I've got to start the workout on time because it takes a little longer. Rest periods sometimes get a little extended when I'm setting up the camera for the next set. And I just have to make sure that I get the workout done because I'm working against the clock. I have to finish before my wife, before the kids wake up. And if I'm dawdling them, I don't get to finish my workout, and then that's on me. So this is why structure is so important. Having a plan is so important. And to be honest, more than this, what are we really talking about here? We're talking about valuing your time. I can't afford to waste my workouts in the morning because I can't go to the gym in the afternoon if I start late and then get a text message from my wife that says, "Hey, the baby's up. Can you come get her? I didn't sleep last night." I can't say, "Oh no, I'm just starting my workout now." We have an agreement that I start my workouts at 5, and that is plenty of time to have them all done and have everything done by 7. Like, I can't violate the agreement we made because she's been more than generous to give me an excessive amount of time to get my workout in and my social media in before the kids get up. So there is a sense of urgency, and it's because I value my time. And if she needs me to kick in, then I can't text her back and say, "Oh, I started the workout late," because I'm unorganized and I got suckered onto Instagram and scrolled a bunch of people's profiles that I don't know. And do you mind if, that's not going to fly. That breaks down trust and that breaks down the relationship. So yeah, if you're not able to get organized while you're single, you're screwed when you have a family and kids. It's not an overnight thing too. And to be honest, it would be better if it was an overnight thing because, what happens is, when you get into the context of a family, there is grace extended, but it starts to pile up. And especially with women, most women don't want to create a disturbance in the relationship, and they're not looking to create drama in the relationship. But, a woman can only tolerate so much. And the next thing you know, you've not kept your word because you're not organized. You don't have a vision. She snaps. And you're like, what the heck happened? What do you mean, what the heck happened? You've been abusing the time frame you've had to train and get everything done by a certain time so that you can kick in with the responsibilities that you have as a father. And if you don't, of course she's going to snap. She's going to get very frustrated with you. And then all of a sudden there's now you got to recover from that, and you got to regain her trust, and you've got to break that habit that started creating all this in the first place. So yeah, there's a consequence here. Why am I telling you guys all this? Because there's a consequence to not getting your SHIT together, young guys. All right. When you're single, you can get away with it because you're living on your own. You've got no curfew. You've got no accountability. There's nobody in the house. There's no mom and dad anymore. Your buddies aren't going to give it to grill you. They'll be like, whatever, he's just my buddy. I'm not going to hold my buddy accountable. So it's so important to establish great habits, great disciplines in the context of non-marriage, the context of non-relationships, because all of a sudden now there's other people involved. And you can't live that, let's call it what it is. It's a selfish lifestyle, whether you're not intentionally a selfish person, but it's a selfish lifestyle when everything you do during the day is around your goals, your food, your workouts, your trips, your experiences, your dreams. Those are tough habits to break. when you get into a relationship, because relationships are a two-way streak. And yeah, if you can't tell, I've been married for 8 years, and it's, to be honest, one of the best things that's ever happened to me, because it's forced me to look myself in the mirror. Marriage is a full-fledged mirror. You get to see all your flaws, and you get to see your good parts too. But yeah, if you're somebody who's growth-minded and you're somebody who wants to improve, you're going to be faced with the reality that you've got areas that need improvement, because if you don't improve them, people in your life will suffer. And there's consequences there if you don't fix them.
It's kind of like the analogy of fitting your own oxygen mask first. Like, once you take care of yourself, you can then start taking care of everyone else around you. But if you don't put that structure, and if you don't make time for the things that are really important, that are going to help you progress, like, which is investing in yourself and doing those things, then you're going to be going on a downward spiral, and you can't help other people. You can't fix the world if you can't even put your own house in order first.
Yeah, hardest person to lead is yourself. Yeah, because you can't tell somebody to do something that you're not doing first. And that's why leadership starts with you. And if you could just start off with those basic daily disciplines of setting an alarm, making your bed, getting a good meal in, having an awesome workout, following the workout and doing it through to completion, and then moving on to the next tasks in your day, that really, really builds up your self-confidence. It really just helps you become a person of character, because my definition of character is who you are when nobody's looking. And it helps you make those tough decisions when there's no audience. There's nobody watching you in the morning when you're lifting, and you've got a couple more sets, or you got to do your cardio, or if you got to do your finishers, and you're like, nobody will notice. And when you stay disciplined but I will notice, and you've got that self-respect for yourself, and know that if you start to quit in the gym when no one's looking, you're going to start quitting in other areas of your life where other people aren't looking. You're going to start, quitting on your taxes. You're going to start cheating on your taxes. Then you're going to start looking for shortcuts and building your business. And then you're going to start, making rationalizations for why it's okay to, check out the girls in the gym when you're married, and take a second look and a third look and a fourth. You just all of a sudden, then you chip away at all your credibility. You just have no self-worth anymore. And it all starts with those daily disciplines, and focusing on character first, reputation second. And that's why waking up in the dark is so important. If you don't get it right in the dark, then you're going to get found out when the bright shiny lights hit you.
That's a powerful one, and it's funny because I actually listened to Andy Frisella, and it's like, even though no one is watching you, he always says, think that someone's always watching you. Like, if you did this thing and you think no one's watching, like, what if someone was watching? Would you still quit, or would you still skip out on that, or would you still eat that food? Or like, what would you do if someone's always watching you? If you're always on show, if you act like that, you're going to always make the right decisions, whether someone's watching or not.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I like that. Yeah. And I think it really just does come down to, again, I'm not perfect. I know I just realized I've been ranting here, and I hope I don't sound judgmental, but the reason I can speak this clearly on all this stuff is because I'm just sharing what I'm going through, what I've gone through. And whenever I've been told that it sounds like I'm angry, or I'm not angry. I'm really actually just passionate, and I actually teach things that I want to be held accountable for myself. So when you just said that, I'm like, yeah, man, shoot, why didn't I think about that, having somebody I look up to in the room when I was throwing back all those salt and vinegar chips? And there's certainly a time in your life where you might not be as restricted with your, I don't have a specific meal plan right now. That's my excuse. I'm not intentionally trying to follow a plan. So I can't even say I'm not cheating on my diet. I have no diet right now. But, if I did, If I did, I would be, guilty because I'm not supposed to be eating those right now. And I'm going to crack the whip soon, but I'm really talking about when you've proclaimed to say you're going to do something. This is an area in your life that you want to improve. And we can't change everything all at once. You know what I'm saying? You can't get your money right. You can't get your fitness right. You know, you can't quit porn. You can't do it all in 1 week. You know, I got these guys telling me all these things they want to do, and they're awesome, awesome goals. They want to do all this amazing stuff. They want to get out of debt. They want to start a business. They want to start a 90-day transformation. They want to move cities, and you know, they want to kick this really bad habit. And I'm like, those are all awesome things, but can we pick one for 2012? Like, which one can we focus on this year? Which one can we focus on? And can we just put those other ones, like, not saying not to pay any attention to them, but can we really concentrate on this one? Because it's going to take all your time, energy, and effort to get this one thing. I think you're underestimating what it's going to take to do this one goal. And can we put the big rocks in first, and then we'll see if there's room for maybe a second, but you know, there likely won't be, but maybe there is. But let's focus on this one thing, and you get the expectations aligned, and then that's how you start making progress, and that's how you start building up your credibility, your confidence in yourself, because you start getting results, because you can actually put effort into it, real effort, and energy and time and money and resources to achieve the results you're set out to achieve. So I'm really big on attacking goals in ones, and not too many things at once, or else you just create this start-stop habit, and it really becomes discouraging, and almost to the point where some people don't even want to do it anymore because it just hurts too much when they reaffirm this belief that, man, I just can't achieve anything I've set out to do. And it's like, well, no, you just had too many things, man. Nobody's told you that you have capacity. Nobody's taught you about this concept called bandwidth. You know, you're just overly ambitious. This is a good thing. We'll use this ambition to achieve all your goals, but can we funnel it into one thing first? Like, what's the rush, man? And then like, oh my gosh, I never thought of that. You know, this is good. Thank you so much for this conversation. All right, man, good. Let's visualize, where are you going to be in 12 months from now if we just put all your efforts into building your body? How much are you going to be lifting in the gym? How are you going to look? How much relief will that give you when you finally know how to look at your food and know what the macros are, not without having to use a food scale, because you commit the next year to just getting your nutrition and your fitness right? Man, that would be just like, if I could just get this one thing taken care of. Awesome. Well, let's focus on that. 1 year. Let's give this thing 1 year. You know, my coach helped me drop my body weight down from 220, 225, all the way down to 200, losing half a pound a week. And when he first told me the goal, I was like, are you kidding me, Ryan? Half a pound per week? That's ridiculous. We can go faster than that. He says, no, man, the reason you always rebound is because you're a sucker for extremes, and you're always going up and down, so you're never able to stabilize your weight. So we're going to do something you've never done before, and we're going to go super, super slow. We're going to lose half a pound on average per week. And if you take this approach to your weight loss, you will not only lose the weight, but you will be able to maintain it. And that was how I was able to get down to 200 pounds and maintain it for like a few years. I've intentionally bulked up recently with my powerlifting program, but that's how I've been able to get my weight down because I took a different approach. I did something different. If you want to change, you have to change. I don't know who said that, but it's so profound. If you want to change, if you want a change, you need to do something that is a change. So that was a change for me. I've never gone half a pound per week, and it produced a different outcome. And it required outside eyes of somebody who I trusted, somebody who knew me, who was able to not call me out in a mean way, but in a way that, hey man, if you want to achieve this goal, and if you really are serious about a permanent transformation, staying lean all year round, we can't do it the way you've done in the past of going really extreme, excess cardio, double day workouts for 12 weeks at a time. You got to take it. It's a different mindset. He educated me. He took the time to help me understand where I went wrong and why this would work, and then got my buy-in, and I said yes, and held me accountable, and I paid him. And I teach that now to my students, and I've launched programs from that experience. that have helped other men. And we have a whole thing. We don't care about people's after photos. We care about your photo after the after photo. And that's part of my branding, my messaging in my fitness business. And that's now attracting the right person into my world, people that now invest into my monthly, coaching program, which is, $50 a month workout of the month program. And we have a lot of people that get that each month. And it's because I've got the right message. I've got the right values. I've got the right vision, but it all started with me and getting that right, being held accountable, and now having a result for that, so that when I teach that to my people, they're like, yeah, I've never seen Vince stay this lean consistently. I've watched his journey. He always is up and down. So now there's believability around the message. I've shared my struggle. Here's how I conquered it. It did take time. And now people want to get on board because there's authenticity and there's integrity around the message. I couldn't preach that message years ago because I wasn't a product of that message. I mean, I couldn't promote it because I didn't even know it was possible. So now we're kind of talking about a new thing here, but having integrity with when you're teaching. But it all starts again with you and those daily disciplines and those habits and producing fruit from them, so that there is something to be shown from what you're speaking about. Because, talk without action, talk without results is just talk, and it's people don't process it, and goes in one ear and out the other, and you don't want that, because these messages are powerful, because the truth is powerful, especially when it comes from somebody who's living it out.
That was such an important message that you just shared, like putting all that into place into yourself, and taking that time to build up the discipline, to build up those habits on a daily basis. And like we talk about, it is playing that patience game. When you start to get bored of doing that same thing over and over again, that's when you're on the right path, because it will get boring, but you're putting those things that are going to turn into a habit into place, so you can maintain that for long periods of time. And another thing you said about when you started losing half a pound a week, because you're like, I can go faster, but your coach said differently, like you got outside eyes, you put your skin in the game, and you hired someone else to help you achieve that goal. And they said, let's try something different. But without that person there, you wouldn't have tried that different thing. So that's why I think coaching is so important too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Outside eyes. Yeah, they always have a perspective that you don't have. And you need somebody that you don't want to disappoint. So many reasons. You learn a lot. And I mean, a lot of practical reasons. You save yourself time, you save yourself money, and you have somebody to help you fight the battles. And that's what you need, right? There's no workout program. There's no diet plan. There's no business coach. There's no business blueprint that's going to take you from A to Z with one tip. You gotta understand that you're putting together a 1,000 piece jigsaw puzzle. And what a coach will help you do is put pieces 1 to 5 together before you even think about pieces 6 to 10. And that's how you achieve your goal. And what most people, when they're on their own, do is they're trying to figure out how to put the middle pieces together, the end pieces together, and they haven't even started for the first 5 pieces. So you've got to understand that to achieve something, things have to happen in steps. I think most people out there already are pretty aware of the steps involved in transforming their bodies or building a business, because you can watch what other people are doing. But what the coach does is he gets you to focus on one thing and one thing only, the next step. That's why you're paying a coach, to keep you focused on the next step.
Vince, I think that is a really good way to end the hour, because you have shared a lot of knowledge in the last 60 minutes, and I think a lot of people have. There's so many takeaways in here that they're going to need to go back and listen to it again, because I'm definitely going to listen to this after it's finished recording. And if they just start to apply those simple things, and they, the first thing I would recommend is they go and give themselves a coach, whatever they want to focus on, whether it be business, whether it be fitness, whatever it be. Get someone who's been where you want to be, who's ahead of you, who can show you the path, and who can help you get back on track. Because when you put that skin in the game, when you have someone being there to show you the way, it's going to make it so much easier. So, Vince, I know you do the fitness stuff, you do the business coaching stuff. People want to invest with you and want to learn more about what you're doing. What's the best place to find you at the moment?
Send me a DM on Instagram, Vince Del Monte. You'll see we just got verified. Vince Del Monte. Send me a DM. Say, hey, Vinny, I'm serious about starting an online business, or I'm ready to scale my business up. And yeah, we'll just jump on the phone, man. And we don't do any hard selling. You'll talk to me or one of my coaches, and we'll see if you're a good fit to come out to one of our events. And Tyson, we got to get you to an event next time you're in Canada or the United States.
I haven't been to Canada yet, so I think that'll have to be on the cards, mate.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Awesome. Vince, thank you so much again for coming on, mate. I really appreciate it. Guys, go back, listen to this podcast again, go and hit up Vince on Instagram, and you are going to dive into a world you never knew existed. So thank you so much again, Vince, for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks for listening to the podcast. I really appreciate it. So now you've listened all the way to the end. That means you get some free goodies. So what you can do is you've got two different options, or you can take them both. I've got an intermittent fasting cheat sheet and a high protein 20 recipe meal guide designed specifically for you in your situation. These meal plans and this intermittent fasting guide is designed to help you burn stubborn belly fat and get in the best shape of your life. So all you have to do is go to the show notes, click on the download link, and they'll get sent straight to your email address. It's as simple as that. They're completely free. They're going to help you transform your body. So go to the show notes now and download your free guides, and I'll speak to you in the next episode.